Double Vision. Hey everybody, welcome back. We've got another Double Vision. I'm Joe. This is Double Vision. Double Vision. Where Tom gives his take, and then I give my take. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and of course here, YouTube. Funny, I don't have a beer. Anyways, welcome back to Double Vision. This is your host, Joe, and Tom just dropped a Double Vision that said, was there anything, movies, video games, anything like that I would look back and I was like, I could do that better, or I would change that. Well, he also brought up a conversation that we had, so let's take a listen.
I mean, there's nothing in life that you've ever chose that you go, man, I think this would be better.
No.
If this, nothing.
Nothing.
No movie.
I have
no song.
I have no idea.
I said
nothing.
No.
Nothing.
But then he thought it was a great idea for a Double Vision. What the fuck is that about? But anyways, I thought long and hard, and one thing that I have had trouble with for a long time is I would change the Matrix. Now everybody would be like, what? The Matrix? The Matrix? No! The last two. The Matrix itself is a standalone movie. Great movie. Great movie. Groundbreaking. Had a lot of cool stuff that happened in it, right? And I wouldn't change that movie at all. Well, I would make it 3 movies. Tom would like that. I would make that one movie into 3 movies. And then it would save the whole trilogy. Let me explain this a little bit first. The reason why I would change the Matrix Trilogy is because Matrix 2 and 3 are kind of garbage. It's like they're an afterthought. They make this standalone movie that has an ending that is perfectly well done, and then based on its success, I feel like maybe they made 2 movies that were an afterthought. They had an idea, but it's like, let's throw this shit together, and it'll be sequels, and we'll capitalize on the popularity of the Matrix. That's what it feels like to me. That's what Matrix 2 and 3 feel like to me. Reloaded and whatever the one is. I've only seen those 2 movies once each. That's how much I liked them. I didn't watch them ever again. Because The Matrix is the only movie that they needed in that series. And this is what I would have done. Alright, if they really wanted to make 3 movies, this would have set it up for sequels, and it would have kept all the mind-blowing stuff in one cool story, instead of wasting it all on the first story and then doing the same thing over and over again 2 more times. So, okay, Matrix movie 1 would just involve, it would be like a thriller. It would involve Neo in the Matrix and Morpheus contacting him, trying to talk to him. He'd be doing like little odd things for Morpheus, running from agents. It would be like this whole big like mystery type spy thriller where he's doing work for this hacker, Morpheus, Neo is. And by the end of it, they finally do get the meeting. And the very last scene of that movie would be where he would get out of the Matrix and wake up. He's all like, welcome to the real world, shaking his hand. That would be the end of the movie, right? So, we'd move on to Matrix 2. Matrix 2 would be like Neo's training, Neo's awakening into the Matrix. It would also contain Morpheus getting kidnapped and stuff like that. It would keep a lot of that core stuff in the middle of the movie, right? The beginning of the movie would be stretched into one movie for Matrix 1. Matrix 2 would take the middle of the movie, stretch it out to make it a movie. Neo would be training, have a bunch of mind-blowing stuff. Morpheus gets kidnapped. In the whole jumble of the things, they'd find out that maybe Agent Smith isn't a virus. Maybe Agent Smith is the Matrix, is the mind of the robots. It's the robot's consciousness. Maybe that's what Agent Smith is. And during this movie, they find out if we destroy Agent Smith, maybe everybody else will die too because the program's gone. So we got to figure out a way to stop that. So they're trying to figure that out, and they're fighting agents, and they're trying to save people from the Matrix at the same time. Well, you'd still have that big fight with Neo and Smith, but Neo loses, but because the robots are coming in, and they kind of unplug him or something, like right there at the last second, and somehow he lives. He's in a coma, and they're like, oh no. Like, but we got Morpheus back, and we found out what the Matrix is, and we found out what to do. Like, we need to replace it somehow. But Neo has fallen. Neo is in a coma, and he's like all laid out, right? So that would be the end of the movie. But the end of the movie would show like Neo's hand, you know, the classic like hand movement type deal, like he's waking up, right? They'd saved the day. He'd kind of gotten real powerful in the Matrix, and they got the information they needed, and now it'd give you a glimpse. Oh, he's still around. He's coming back. So third movie would be kind of like a chase movie, because Smith catches on to what they're doing. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to kill everybody anyways. So they got like this certain amount of time that they got to get their stuff done before Smith destroys the human race anyways. And all these movies would take place more in the Matrix, less in the real world. I mean, there'd be a lot of real world scenes, just like in the first movie. Don't get me wrong, they would have the real world scenes and plans and hackers and shit, but it would be a lot of in the Matrix too, though. But more so than not. So this last one, they all go back in. Neo and everybody, they're fighting Agent Smith. They're trying to save people's lives. They're trying to figure out how to replace Agent Smith, and they're having the fights, and he's killing people, and they're like racing to save humanity, right? And at the end of this movie is where they have that fight scene, where Neo finally figures shit out, and he's like, blue, 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 type stuff. And when he shoots into Agent Smith and explodes him, that's when Neo would die. Because he had figured out that he could become one with the Matrix. So instead of him jumping in and just breaking up Agent Smith and whatever, that would signify Agent Smith's death. Agent Smith would be gone forever when he shot into the body, exploded it, and became the Matrix. Neo becomes the Matrix. And now, instead of Agent Smith, they're Neos. And he can do everything just like Agent Smith could. But he's no longer in his body. He can't be. But he sacrificed himself to save humanity. There's Neos in there, like an army basically, that he can like just save people, or he kept the Matrix together, and now one by one or people by people he can like say, hey, you know, we can bring you to the real world, this is fake type stuff. And that would be my ending. That's how I'd end the whole trilogy off. Would be like Neo defeated them. We know that you can keep that whole ending to the original Matrix could still be a thing. And a lot of all the Matrixes are still the way they were. All that mind-blowing stuff is still there. It's just split up into 3 movies to make us want more, you know? So by the end of it, when he does that fight, and he jumps into Agent Smith and explodes him, he sacrificed himself. He can do that same telephone booth bullshit and fly off into space. But that would just show us, just like the first one, that he's there and he's pulling people out and everything's going to be okay. I feel like that would be better. That'd be better. They wasted everything on one movie and then expected us to come back for all the same stuff. And it wasn't even as well done. So if they keep that same first movie concept all the way through all 3 and make it the trilogy, it would have been great. It would have been perfect. So, in answer to Tom's questions, that's what I would change. I would change the Matrix Reloaded in whatever it is, Forever, because Batman Forever sucked too. But anyways, thanks for joining me with this double vision, and I'll see you next time. This is Double Vision. Hey everybody, welcome back. We've got another Double Vision. I'm Joe. This is Double Vision. Double Vision. Where Tom gives his take, and then I give my take. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, and of course here, YouTube.